Hello everyone, today we are going to discuss different properties of discrete time Fourier transform. The properties we will discuss in discrete time Fourier transform are same as that we have discussed in continuous time Fourier transform. Only few properties has been changed and rest of the properties are almost same as that we have discussed in CTFT, right? So come to the first property of DTFT, and this is the unique property of discrete time Fourier transform. This is the periodicity of discrete time Fourier transform. As I already told you in the introduction part that discrete time Fourier transform is periodic with period 2 pi, and this is the difference between the CTFT and DTFT also, that discrete time Fourier transform is periodic with period 2 pi, while CTFT is not periodic with any of the period is not periodic, right? So to prove this property, we have just taken the DTFT formula and replacing this omega by omega plus 2 pi on both sides, and solving, then we find that the left hand side is equals to the right hand side. Why we are replacing this omega by omega plus 2 pi? Because as we are saying that DTFT is periodic with period 2 pi. So as it is periodic with period 2 pi, so we have to replace with plus omega by omega plus 2 pi, and then we can prove the property, right? So this is the periodicity property. Now next property is the linearity property of the Fourier transform. The property is same that we have discussed in the continuous time Fourier transform. The only representation has been changed. In this case, x1n has a Fourier transform of x1 e to the power j omega. This is a discrete time Fourier transform representation. But in case of continuous time Fourier transform, the representation was x of j omega, and the rest property is same as that in CTFT. Similarly, the time shifting and frequency shifting properties are also same that we have discussed in CTFT. The proof of these can be done in the similar way that we have done in CTFT. Now come to the example number 6. In this example, you have to find the DTFT of the given function is xn is equals to 1 by 4 sinc 1 by 4 n minus 2, right? Now I'm just giving you a hint that suppose you have to find this Fourier transform using the time shifting property or frequency shifting property. So which property you will apply? For that, first examine this given function. When you see this function that xn is 1 by 4 sinc 1 by 4 n minus 2, the function is shifted in time by a factor of 2. So time shifting property can be applied, right? So for that, you have to first find the discrete time Fourier transform of 1 by 4 sinc 1 by 4 n. How can you find? Recall the example that we have discussed in the previous lecture. Here, this is the example that we have discussed in the previous lecture. In this example, you are identifying the inverse DTFT of the given rectangular function. And for this rectangular function, the inverse DTFT is sinc function or a sine function. You can change the sine function to a sinc function, right? How the sine function can be represented in sinc function? Here we have shown how we have written the sine function in the form of sinc function. When we compare this function with the given function, we just find that the value of omega c is pi by 4. So by placing this value in this function, then we find that this is equal to 1 by 4 sinc n by 4. 1 by 4 sinc n by 4. Now, how we will find the DTFT of this function? We have to just shift this function by 2, minus 2. When you replace n by n minus 2, then apply the time shifting property. When you apply the time shifting property, means if there is a shift in the time domain, there is a respective multiplicative factor of exponential function in which e to the power minus j2 omega will come into multiplication, right? So this is the DTFT of the given sinc function. Okay, now come to the next question. In this question, you have to find the Fourier transform of the given function. In the given function, you know the Fourier transform of a to the power n un, right? This is the first problem that we have discussed in our lecture. Now, you can see that this minus 1 can be written as e to the power plus minus j pi. If you write this minus 1 in the form of exponential function, then you can apply this property. This property, which property? This property. In this, e to the power j function is multiplied in time domain. Here, the same thing is happening. If you write this minus 1 in the form of e to the power j pi, then e to the power j pi is multiplying in time domain. Then you can easily apply the frequency shifting property. So when you write this minus 1 as e to the power j pi, and then this representation can be written as e to the power j pi into xn. Xn is supposed to be a to the power n un. And then applying the frequency shifting property. In frequency shifting property, we are just replacing omega by omega minus pi in the Fourier transform of a to the power n un, right? Here we have done this. So this is the DTFT of the given function. Now come to the next property, differencing and accumulation property. This is the differencing property. If you take a difference of the present and the past sample, then the property is called as the differencing property. In this property, xn minus x of n minus 1 has a Fourier transform of this. You can also prove this property by writing the Fourier transform of xn. Xn has a Fourier transform of xej omega. Xn minus 1 Fourier transform can be found by applying the time shifting property, right? Okay, by applying that, we have the DTFT of this function. In the similar way, there is one more property, that is accumulation property. You have to just learn this property. There you don't go through the proof of this property. You have to just learn the formula of this property, right? So come to the next example. In this example, you have to find the Fourier transform of un function. How you can find the Fourier transform of un function? Recall that unit step function can be written in the form of impulse function. Yes, it can be written in the form of impulse function. This can be written as in the impulse form, as here we have shown. Here gm is written because in this expression we have already considered that n is delta n, and you know that summation from minus infinity to n delta n is equals to un function. And then applying, because this expression is same as this expression, and writing the corresponding expression to this, we can have this expression. So g ej omega is the Fourier transform of this function, and this function is equals to the delta function. So delta n has a Fourier transform 1. So here this is replaced by 1, and this g into e to the power j0 means the value of g e to the power j omega at omega equals to 0. If you put omega equals to 0 here, it remain 1 because it is independent of the frequency, right? These are the properties that we have discussed. The remaining properties will be discussed in the next lecture. Okay, thank you so much.